This is Stephanie, and this is the Mocha Minutes Podcast. Hey guys, before we get into the episode, I just wanted to let you know about something that's a little new here at the Mocha Minutes Podcast. We are now participating in Buy Me a Coffee. So if you haven't heard, buymeacoffee.com is a place where you can show some support and some love monetarily to some of your favorite content creators. That includes me. So it's in the increments of either $1, $3, or $5, and you can do as many as you would like. So I just wanted to let you guys know, would love some support. So if you would go to buymeacoffee.com/Mocha Minutes, I would greatly appreciate it. It will also be in the show notes. Okay, here we go. Passion instant, sweat beads fill me, Cupid shot me, heartbeats racing, tempt me, drive me, feel so exciting, thought of highly, it's yours entirely. I'll be more than a lover, more than a woman, more than the others. I'll be more than a lover, more than a woman, more than enough for you. I'll be more. I'll be more than a lover, more than a woman, more than enough for you. Hello. Welcome to the Mocha Minutes Podcast. I am Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me. Sidebar. If y'all knew the amount of times I have recorded and re-recorded this week's episode, between stuff that is happening, stuff I felt very Rodney going, and another thing, and then technical difficulties, it's been a whirlwind, to say the least. But yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I feel like Horton is a Hugh. Or Hugh. Horton here's a who. We are here. That's how I feel. Very, very interesting time. Okay. I normally do low, mid, and high key. But we just gonna talk. I have thoughts about Bravo. I have thoughts about Love and Marriage Huntsville. But we just going to table that for this week. I think, reality TV is going to take a back seat, even though, Lord have mercy, Miss Nell. I didn't think I would ever say this. Is the only kind of thing I'm going to talk about reality TV. I don't think I've ever thought I would say this. Destiny better than me. Because Nell was playing in her face. Like, for real. But let's just table that. Maybe I would do low, mid, and high key. So low key. Everybody has, and it's up and it's stuck person. Everybody got that one person that they say one thing and I'm going to say something to them and I'm not going to care. The ceiling is the roof if they say something to me. It will be no valley low enough for the shade that I will throw at them. There is no bar. The bar is 17 levels below hell. And that is what we're watching between Jess Hilarious and T.S. Madison. Now, here's the deal. When it comes to Jess Hilarious, people are going to be they're going to be willfully obtuse. Not just obtuse. Y'all being obtuse on purpose. Because y'all are acting like, one, y'all don't got that person. And two, y'all acting like Maddie just be saying stuff for no apparent reason. Now, to give y'all a little bit of a timeline, Madison was on, I guess TMZ asked her a question like, what do you think about Snoop? Now, let's sidebar. Everybody and their mama got an opinion. about what Snoop said about Lightyear, the movie that's 3 years old, and he's bringing it up this year. I had to take my grandson to see Gear. You mean 3 years ago? Also, there are so many ways you could have answered that boy, but making it seem like y'all made me have to, I'm sorry, you made me have to be inadequate as a grandfather is the wildest take I've ever seen. Because you could have said, boy, ask your mama. Man, ask your mama these questions. Do you know how many grandparents kind of just do that? Or they actually just say, oh, because baby adopted. Here's the thing. Kids ask questions about bags. Like, why are these bags plastic? Why is this box cardboard? Why is the sky blue? Why are my toes wiggling? They ask about everything. So for you making it seem like them asking like how two women have a baby as if one of these women couldn't physically have a child is so weird to me. So Snoop said something. TS gave her opinion like a lot of people have. And then 2 weeks later, here come Just Hilarious saying, this is about two lesbians, two women having children. This is not even, the word she said, I don't know, she said colony. I don't even know what word she was trying to use. You know, shut your bitch ass up. It's like, this ain't even your thing, bitch. And it's like, So here's the thing. So then, because when I saw Maddie's reaction, like, now, sis, I've been leaving you alone. See, that's the thing. Maddie didn't just come out her face for no apparent reason. She didn't. But because either this was just on the story or people not following Just Hilarious, a lot of people didn't know that. They thought she was just speaking to speak. Thank you to the neighborhood talk. Because I was like, girl, what's she saying now? I'm thinking she said something on Breakfast Club. She didn't. And the thing about it is, I'm like, I want to know when Charlemagne or like a producer or somebody from the Breakfast Club going to say, girl, stop talking about T.S. Madison. Stop taking shots. Because one, she said something to her directly. It's like, that's the thing. It wasn't like in a subliminal thing. Oh, baby, you said something to her directly. Even though you ain't at her, you were responding directly to something she did. And it's like, all right, girl, now you playing. Now you acting like you don't understand. Because when Corey Holcomb says shit about you, you responded, correct? But nobody can respond to you. Girl, shut up. And the other thing, everybody's like, oh my God, why you keep talking about her? Because one, she ain't had to say nothing to Madison at all. Now, either y'all keep it cute or keep it on mute. And at this point, Jess need to just keep it on mute when it comes to Madison. Because one, I could literally just sit here and say like, oh, okay, well, you just said this is about lesbians, so she shouldn't be talking. Well, last thing I checked, ma'am, I don't think you a lesbian, so maybe you should have shut up too. This is about biological women's business. I'm like, technically, this is about lesbian mama's business, and you shouldn't be in it either. Also, I don't know why we can't just say, because sometimes niggas is gay. Or adoption. The thing about it is, you ain't got to event. Okay, this is the other thing about this whole thing. I saw the movie Lightyear. Because everybody, it was like, I don't think a lot of people remember. And it wasn't that long ago, but it was long enough ago. Because, when it comes to social media and the wave of things happening, we got the attention spans or memories of a goldfish. And not the North. Like me. Or other people. There's a lot of people like, girl, oh, I didn't forget this. 3 years ago, before the movie even came out, it got review bombed because of the two mothers and the child. Here's the other part of this whole thing. That whole scene with the two mamas literally was less than 30 seconds. Blinking, you would have missed it. Because I almost missed it. I'm like, wait a minute, time out. This was it? I was like, because one, it just was like, y'all being completely hateful. This made me want to see it more. And mind you, that whole thing about two mamas was so quick that it's like, you'd have missed it. Because I almost missed it. Y'all made it this big deal, and it wasn't a big deal. And then Snoop is bringing it up 3 years later. This happened in 2022. Summer of 2022. I think. It was in 2022. I can't remember the month that it came out now. I'm sitting here like, girl, this was not necessary. And also, there's so many ways. I'm like, saying you don't know how to have hard conversations with children is not the flex that you think it is. But this ain't about Snoop. This is about Jess. I'm like, Jess tried it. And the thing about it is, now Maddie put up a video and there was comments where people, cisgendered, biological men and women were saying she looked like a man. That has been haunting Jess for quite a few years. There's the thing about it is us being literally everybody. I'm not just saying black people, okay? Having an issue with gender identity and gender norms and like basically how we see men and women, and that's just from the binary level, is not something that is children's fault. Because this whole conversation when they were talking about, oh my God, now that they're forcing this on our children, I'm like, question, do y'all know queer folks, gay people, lesbians, queer folks, trans folks over a certain age? You do realize they look at all. If they, like you're saying, if we just show things to children, this is how they're going to turn out. Why are all these gay people walking around? Quickly answer me how, if they watch the same thing that we watched. I am in my 40s and I've seen almost every Disney movie. I've watched a lot of television. I watched Nickelodeon. And the majority, 99.9% of the interactions I saw on television when I was growing up were straight people. It was a man and a woman, male, female, and they kissing. I ain't seen no gay folks. You know what's really funny? Gay folks like my age, and a little bit younger. Oh, I'm gonna say over 30. They all watch the same damn thing. Notice they still gay, right? So that's how I know that y'all full of shit. Y'all just want to blame something. And it's like, girl, sometimes niggas be gay. Sometimes it's like, there's a lot of things that you can choose to be. Y'all choosing to be stupid. Y'all choosing to be obtuse. It's a choice. Who you prefer to go to bed with is not a choice. It's how you were born. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay. Jess Hilarious let me tell you something. Whoever this random ass man who preferred to date trans women and curved Jess because she wasn't a trans woman, and now every trans woman got to deal with this, is diabolical. I'm like, girl, you got this beef with trans women because some man that it sounds like you were interested in, but wasn't interested in you because you are a biological woman. You have been mad about that for way too long. Girl, let the mouse go. Let it go. And leave trans women alone, because one, T.S. Madison ain't your enemy. No trans woman is. But you're making them your enemy. And I don't know. It's just weird. And it's like, girl, here's the thing. Should Maddie be going so hard on Jess? That's y'all opinion. It's that opinion is that thought is subjective. I'm like, if it's up in the stuck, it's up in the stuck. I'm of a certain age. But y'all acting like y'all don't all have that person like, oh no, fuck them forever. Y'all act like Madison shouldn't feel that way about Jess. And I'm sorry, I would. But I don't have too many. Like, I do. That's the thing. Everybody got that one person. They say something crooked. They say a crooked letter to me, and I'm going to straighten them out. Everybody got that person. I got 3. It's like, girl, keep it cute. Don't talk about me. I won't talk about you. That is what we saw. See, that's the thing. When you bring something to my doorstep, I'm going to kick you in the teeth. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Madison. She ain't got to be nice to Jess. And also, y'all, because she has an alleged occupation as a comedian, that don't mean everything she's saying is a joke. She a comedian, it's just jokes. I don't care. One, I don't care. It can't be Jess ain't funny, and then when she does something, oh, it's a joke. I'm like, girl, shut up. I promise you, your femininity doesn't need to be so fragile that literally a trans woman living her life is an attack on you. Oh, baby, it's not. And if it is, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and get you some help. And that's on period. Like, girl, please, I'm so tired of y'all. And I'm tired of this thing with just, please leave people alone. Because Madison has said it, like, if you actually watched her morning show and watched it, she don't say nothing to Jess unless Jess say something to her. Or saying something about trans women. I'm like, girl, can you please just grow up? I'm like, when y'all production meetings, tell her that. I'm not saying Dear Breakfast Club. Yeah. Tell her something. Because she getting on our nerves now, yeah. Mid-key. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I sound very low energy because when I tell you I've redone this episode like 4 times, I'm like, Lord. And then I have other stuff to talk about. And it just keeps adding on. Mid-key. Let's talk about Miss Kelly. Let's talk about some beefs. So first beef. Kelly Price versus black women. Well, I guess we can add on some other versus black women versus poor styling versus I don't know which stylist you pissed off, but the fact they let you go out on that stage looking at, I'm sorry, it is not a cute, she did not look good. And the thing about it is, why is it that if somebody hating on black women or disparaging black women, they don't have to do the disclaimer of, I'm just talking to the people that's saying shit about me in this live, who said something about me on a post. They don't have to do that with black women. Black women got to do that with everybody else. I'm only talking about certain people. They got to give the disclaimer. Everybody who talks about black women, they don't have to do that, including a black woman. Kelly Price. I'm sorry. Let me take a step back. Take one. I'm going to move my square back. Now, I'm going to tell you this about losing weight as someone who has lost weight. Losing weight does not make you a mean girl. The extra weight that you had on you was just covering up the mean girl that's already there. Kelly Price, if y'all watch, and everybody keeps bringing up R&B divas because, I mean, the clips are evergreen, honey. This ain't aged well. Or it has, depending on who you ask. But Kelly Price has been very rant for years. But still and yet, her biggest demo has been black women. It's always been black women. So for you to come and attack like black women or this, I'm like, I kind of wish she had just said, now the folks that's attacking me on this post, and I'm like, girl, I didn't even know what post she was talking about. Kelly Price has one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. I enjoy her music. I don't enjoy Kelly Price. Anybody who enjoys her music, they can understand what I just said. It's like, girl, if you don't just shut up and sing, instead of just being rude and nasty. And she is being nasty. I'm not using the A word, aggressive. I'm like, even with me saying she's rude and nasty, so nasty and so rude, I'm still not going to call her aggressive. I'm going to use the other A word. She's an asshole. She looked like she was at rehearsal for a gig and not a gig. And maybe you pissed off your stylist. Oh, girl, you look cute. And they let you look out there looking a hot mess. And I'm putting hot mess in quotes. It just looked like, is she performing? And I know people like, just focus on her voice. I'm like, yeah, if we were on the radio, that works. She is in public at a performance, a in-person performance. If we on the radio, we not focused. We only focused on the voice. Please stop acting like, don't give me radio rules. And if somebody who should be as polished as Kelly Price, as long as she been in the game, it's a misstep, and instead of you actually owning it, you get mad because people point out it's a misstep. She called black women DEI hires. I'm like, y'all going on your job. I'm at my craft. Ma'am, you're talking to the demo that come to see you. you don't get to keep saying shit to people and think they're going to support you. There's going to be some people who are like, nope, they can chew the meat and spit out the bones when it came to what you said. They're like, oh, she was only. I'm like, yeah. Y'all can put the disclaimers on talking about black women. If people are being mean to you, talk about those people. You can put disclaimers. You don't have to speak in absolutes about us. You don't. That's for everybody who wants to speak down on black women. Black women are the demo that's the most supportive of everyone. And, much to y'all chagrin, we also can be the toughest. Who's toughest on, who is the most, think about this. Who is the harshest critic? Who is your harshest critic? And why did you just say yourself? So if you can understand that concept, you can... The thing about it is like there are so many black women who say, I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for black women. So how dare you like speak down on demo? That's why black women look like, who the fuck you think you talking to? I can speak for me. And Dario, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I would not be where I am without black women in my life, starting with my own mother. If I am in a crowded place, the safest people to be around for me is black women. I traveled to a podcast festival in Atlanta. I traveled solo. I got on a train for 15 hours. I recommend doing it if you're going to do it overnight during the day. I'm not sure. But when I got on the train, it was a pod of black women. They didn't know each other. They just happened to be older black women. Do you know they said, baby, you okay? You hungry? You want something to eat? I felt so safe. And I didn't know these women from Adam. Kelly Price, I ain't got that problem. And I'm a fat bitch too. I don't have these problems that you have with black women. But I saw somebody on TikTok and I totally agree with them when they said this. If you only spend your time with black women, who's going to be who is going to give you critique? Who are you going to hear critique more from? The people you're around, you ditzy heifer? I can't with Kelly Price. It's just like saying DEI hires, hearing that from a black woman is like, oh girl. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know who you like. And also, Kelly Price can be a pick-me-ass bitch. It's like, oh, girl. It's like, you're married, so I'm not going to ask did he call you yet. It's like, yeah, let me know if all of those men that you're appealing to, because they couldn't wait. They're like, see, we found somebody that's going to hold up our banner. I tell everybody, when it comes to misogyny, all misogynists do not identify as male. And sometimes there are women who carry that misogynistic water. The massage noir water as well. Oh, they carry it. We don't originate it, but sometimes we don't mind carrying it. Let's talk about another beef. Boop, 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 boop. Shannon Sharp versus Ray Lewis. So I don't think I've seen this take yet, and it's kind of, the sea is ebbed on them. Just wanted to give this. So when it came to Ray versus Shannon, when Ray, who don't really have a podcast, you don't see him doing a whole bunch of stuff on social media. Child, I don't even know what he do for work at this point. Kind of don't care, right? When that whole thing came out with Ray and Shannon, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, everybody instinctively went back to the court case. Hold on. Ray Lewis murder trial. This is from, so it's not a murder case. Essentially what happened is in January 2000, after a Super Bowl party, 2 men were stabbed and unalived, and Ray Lewis was there. Sorry. So at first, it's like the men were charged. At first, they charged him for murder, and then they were dropped. And then, then there was it was an obstruction of justice. So basically, what he was on trial for wasn't necessarily murder. It was obstruction of justice, which in relation to the stabbing. So he wasn't on trial for murder. He they dropped the murder charges. So that's not why he went to court. It was so he got he pled guilty to obstruction of justice. And it's in connection to the stabbing deaths. And then he was a witness at the murder trial. And then the jury determined that the killings were acts of self-defense. That's what happened with Ray Lewis. Again, this was 25 years ago. I had to look this up. So, because it was kind of I remember the court case, he wasn't on trial. He was a witness in the murder trial, but he had pled guilty to obstruction of justice, because I guess he does. It's funny. I think this is related to no snitching per se. But I think I thought y'all said no snitching. That's obstruction of justice when y'all don't, by the way. Okay? Yeah. So that's what it is. But that's essentially what was going on around with him and the court cases and all this foolishness. So, this was January 31st, 2020. I just giving a little bit of context for that. So let's see. I'm going to give you basically the whole little snippet for anybody. Following a Super Bowl 34 party in Atlanta on January 1st, 2000, a fight broke out between Lewis's entourage and another group of people, resulting in the stabbing deaths of Jason Baker and Richard Lawler. Lewis and two companions, Reginald Oakley and Joseph Sweeting, were questioned by Atlanta police, and 11 days later, the three men were indicted on murder and aggravated assault charges. The fight occurred about 200 yards from the Cobalt Lounge at 265 East Paces Ferry Road in the Buckhead Village neighborhood, about 2 miles north of downtown Atlanta, where Lewis had been celebrating. The white suit Lewis was wearing the night of the killings was never found. Fulton County District Attorney Paul Howard alleged this bloodstained suit was dumped in a garbage bin outside of a fast food restaurant. A knife found at the scene did not have any fingerprints or DNA. Lewis subsequently testified that Oakley and Sweeting had bought knives earlier in the week before the Super Bowl from a sports authority where Lewis had been signing autographs. Baker's blood was found inside of Lewis's limousine. 2 weeks into the trial, Lewis's attorneys Don Samuel and Garland negotiated a plea agreement with the district attorney in which the murder charges against Lewis were dismissed. Okay, so I'm glad I'm clearing my own self up, because now I gotta send it back. Were dismissed in exchange for his testimony against Oakley and Sweeting and his guilty plea to a misdemeanor charge of obstruction of justice. Lewis admitted he gave a misleading statement to police on the morning after the killings, initially telling them that he was not at the scene. Superior Court Judge Alice D. Bonner sentenced Lewis to 12 months probation. 1 year in prison is the maximum sentence for a first-time offender, and the immediate probation was the judge's decision. He was also fined $250,000 by the NFL, which was believed to be the highest fine level levied against an NFL player for an infraction not involving substance abuse. Under the terms of the sentence, Lewis could not use drugs or alcohol during the duration of the probation, which was a year. All right. So that's where it is. He was charged because basically it was him and two other people that were charged. So let me fix my own self and correct my own self. He did. Okay. He copped a plea. So that's where we are. When all this was happening, this was in 2000. Okay, so let me give you the outcome of the murder trial. Oakley and Sweeting maintained that they had acted in self-defense, and after 5 hours of deliberation, the jury acquitted them of all charges in June 2000. The following year, Lewis was named Super Bowl 35 MVP. However, the signature phrase, "I'm going to Disney World," was given instead to quarterback Trent Dilfer. I remember that. On April 29, 2004, Lewis reached an out-of-court settlement with 4-year-old India Lawler, born months after the death of her father, Richard, preempting a scheduled civil proceeding. Lewis also reached an undisclosed settlement with Baker's family. During a taped pregame interview with Shannon Sharpe that aired on CBS before Super Bowl XL 37, Sharpe told Lewis that the families of the slain men found it difficult to see Lewis idolized by millions of fans, believing he knows more about the killings than he shared, and asked what he had to say to those families. During a taped pregame interview with Shannon Sharpe, and asked what he had to say to those families, Lewis responded, "God has never made a mistake. That's just who he is to see. You see, to the family, if you really knew the way God works, he don't use people who commit anything like that for his glory." The Ravens' crisis management around Lewis's murder trial was revisited by former head coach Brian Billick, by then a media analyst, after the 2013 arrest of Aaron Hernandez and his swift release by the New England Patriots. So let's add that. Now, mind you, I kind of don't remember this interview, but again, this is back, if this is 2004, this is back when Shannon was on CBS, because he was on like CBS like mornings, like that morning show where they talk about it. He also got fired because of his speech. Yeah, he's come out and said this too. Right? All right. So that's that. So essentially, he was the one who like had this interview, and he did his job as an interviewer for CBS. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop that. I'm sorry. Let me stop, Mister. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a journalist, girl. We know that. We know you're not a journalist. We know that, baby. All right. And Shannon, I think to the most part, he kind of like defended because that was his friend. Okay. So that's where everybody goes from this year back to 2000, so 25 years ago. But y'all made an express bus. Y'all needed to make that bus local and stop in 2017. So in 2017, Shannon was on FS1 with Skip Bayless on the show Undisputed. So in 2016, everybody knows Cap started his kneeling during the 2016 season, right? 2017, right before, 2017 is when Donald Trump started his presidency, because he got elected in 2016. And he called NFL players sons of bitches if they kneel, right? Then you saw the theater in the NFL. Then all of a sudden people are like walking out, locking arms. Ray Lewis and LaShawn McCoy said publicly they would never kneel for the anthem. That is your choice. That's whatever. That it is what it is. There were a handful of people in the league that actually did kneel along with Cap, including Eric Reed and Arian Foster. Eric Reed is the most notable one that everybody remembers. There were quite a other few, right? So when this whole thing with the SOBs thing, Ray didn't get on one knee. He got on two knees and was being Ray Lewis is talking about being and I'm not saying that he's not, but even to this day, he talks like a new Christian. He talks like I just got saved yesterday. I went under the water yesterday. That's how Ray Lewis talks. Still. He just do. And mind you, how it's like to this day, he still talks like a new Christian. It's kind of crazy every time I think about it. So it's just like, really? Now you on your knees? Everybody clocked it. Everybody did. So Shannon went on his show and said, "I'm very disappointed." And someone that I'm very, very close to, he name dropped Ray Lewis, and I think he name dropped Shady as well. Because the clip is out there, honey. It's from September 2017. So of course, if you're my friend, I feel like if Ray knew, if they had a conversation, they had already had that rant and had their own discussion off camera before he came out, I don't think he would have had an issue that much. So he did that. And it's kind of like Ray went, the fuck? It's like, because one, He said that was one of his best friends. That's one of your best friends. Your best friend going on his platform to talk about you. How interesting. So then a couple days later, Shannon came back and said, yeah, I talked to Ray and we good. And his thing was, he was like upset that I didn't talk to him first. I didn't come to him with my concerns. And he's like, I understand that. That's valid. I'm pointing that out for a reason. So that's in 2017. Fast forward to 2025. Ray said what he said about Shannon, and I'm like, I love how everybody's dancing around what happened to Shannon this year, but that's neither here nor there. And Shannon got on his show, and what did he say, y'all? He could have called me. And then I went, I know what's happening with Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis don't talk a lot. He don't do a lot of stuff. Ray was getting his lick back. It took him 8 years to do so. Because at the time, it's like, what you saying about, what you ain't had nothing to say about Shannon. You ain't had nothing to say like, hey, Shannon, what do you think about, hey, Ray, what you think about this? What happened with Shannon? This is the biggest thing. Anybody who know Ray Lewis, they asking y'all asses, what do you think about what's going on with Ray Lewis? I'm sorry, Shannon Sharp. Anybody who knows Shannon, everybody's asking that question. And you can't say that's one of your boys, and you've been saying that for years, and everybody kind of know basically because now, like, because of how long you were in the league, he retired before Ray Lewis did, because Ray Lewis retired to 2013. Let's say no, the 2013 season. Yeah, nope. Brain is fried right now. So he been waiting to get his lick back. Here's the thing. What has Shannon done between 2017 and now that has been so big and so much of a scandal for Ray to talk about? I'll give you a hint. Nothing. This is it. Nobody's bringing this up. Nobody would have brought Shannon up. If all this didn't happen this year with Shannon, nobody would have asked Ray Lewis about Shannon Sharp. Ray got his lick back. And then you're watching Shannon. He could have called me, and all I'm thinking is, you mean like you called him in 2017? And that was his issue? Y'all are petty. It's petty boots. It's a petty boots move. It really is. It's a petty boots. Petty boots. Petty boots. Last beef I want to talk about is Channing Crowder versus Russell Wilson. And this sounds very weird for me to say, because they're like, what beef? I'm like, yeah, it's a one-sided beef, because it seems like Channing got a... It seems like Channing has an issue with Russell. Now, 3 years ago, and I don't even know why this came up, but Channing Crowder called Russell Wilson a square. He said he was corny. This went out all over the place. So much so that they ended up on the Breakfast Club, and the Breakfast was like, girl, like, what's your issue? Like, you call him corny? I'm like, he corny. What y'all want me to say? Da, 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 da. At that time, more people were agreeing with him than telling him to shut the hell up. Most of the people telling him to shut the hell up were actually black women. And I think for us, we took like umbrage to it, because here it is. You're watching a man who seemingly loves this woman down and is stepping up to be a father figure or father to her child. And because it's future, people were acting super weird. I'm like, that's his seed that he don't take care of. That man had 33% custody of that child. 33. After a while, I was like, girl, you can keep your little funds. I'm married to Russell Wilson. They've been married for 9 years. Here's the thing. When it comes to like high profile romances, especially if there's a child involved, we are so used to seeing the women kind of fade into obscurity. And that didn't happen with Sierra. She didn't fade nowhere. Future got 9 other children. So it's 9 other baby mamas, because all of his children have different mothers. Every single one of them. He said it out his mouth. It's like he was bragging. I'm like, being irresponsible with your penis is not the flex. But I don't do the hippity hops, right? I don't do it. Fast forward 3 years, we hear, like, it's come out that Wilson is added to Future's last name. And there are people who are like, that is so wrong. And when Sierra, and I think it came out, I don't think she said, she didn't come out publicly herself. I think it came, like, reports came out like, this is not new. This, y'all are, it's not that this just happened. We are just being informed of it. And before Future basically deleted his Instagram, he said, congratulations. That man don't care. Y'all care. And that's his kid. Y'all doing a whole lot because in some weird way, y'all have an issue with men stepping up. Now, all of the bad stereotypes, the incorrect information about black men being deadbeats and they don't care about family, y'all having an issue with Russell makes zero look of sense. It also shows that the goalpost is going to move every time when it comes to black women. Ryan, I need y'all to stop bringing up Russell Wilson to this man because this is what's going to keep happening. Ryan brought it up on the show. Like, I know you heard about it. And the thing about it is, Channing does this show. He also does radio. Allegedly, he's a comedian. So you are not new to this. You just ain't true to this. It's getting weird at this point because now he is lame. I don't care. Blah, blah, blah. And then when it's like a couple of instances of reasons why he's thinking he's lame is he got boosts in his hair and he wears white underwear. I'm so sorry that he has the confidence to wear white underwear because he probably know how to wipe his ass. That's an issue. Sir, you have locks right now. I'm pretty sure there's product in your hair. Girl, fuck you. It's like, what is this? Leave us alone, sir. I mean it. Leave us alone. I mean it. I don't know what to tell. Girl, I'm just flabbergasted by this. What is wrong with you? And now you see more. So now this time around, there's more people going, girl, what? Than saying he got a point. More people saying, okay, now this is getting weird. Now this is getting weird. It was weird 3 years ago. It's definitely weird now. And it's bad when you got DJ Envy going, I don't understand. What's his issue? I'm like, you know it's bad. Because now it's like, it's looking weird. So now this is a good example of intent versus impact. Because I'm sure Channing's intention was not to look like he is jealous of Russell Wilson. He has no reason to. His wife is stunning beyond our words. He has beautiful children. He seems to have a really good life. So I know that wasn't the intention, but the impact is it looks like you are jealous of Russell Wilson. And it's just like, your disdain for Russell Wilson is now coming off even more irrational than it did 3 years ago. And so it's like, so when he said, ain't no Atlanta nigga, like inner city Atlanta nigga gonna be hanging out with Russell. And I'm sitting here like, I had to look up this man's age. This man is 2 years younger than me, but he's still in his 40s. What 40-year-old man cares about hanging out with the cool kids? Girl, grow up. You are 40 years old, sir. You are 40 years old. And you talk about coolness. I'm sorry. Are you okay? Inner city Atlanta. Let me be very frank. Mr. Crowder, you somebody lame ass nigga right now. And it's based on what you are saying and how you are moving that someone's going to call you lame. Also, on your best day, Future ain't hanging out with you on his worst day. Girl, you're a lame to a lot of people because this take and you keeping on this take is lame. Your ego is so loud, you don't hear the squeaking of the mouse that you need to let go. And also, and the thing about it is, no one's saying you can't have your opinion, because you can have your opinion all you want. You know what's really funny? You don't know how to keep shit cute. Because you can be like, yeah, I seen that, y'all. It's nothing else to say. It really, man, I know y'all want a soundbite. I ain't giving it to y'all. There's nothing to say. It's like, congratulations. It's like, I'm going to take a picture out Future's book. Congratulations. See how easy it is to not be lame, for you not to be lame. See how easy that is for you not to say anything. You don't know how to not be you. The other thing I want to bring up, that you holding on to this like terrible ass take, degrade, down talking another black man. No. So no. So don't say nothing, okay? Oh, don't say nothing, okay? So don't say nothing. You having this terrible ass take talking down about a black man. You got one co-host just putting his head in your hand, and I know he's like, I shouldn't have said shit. No, Ryan. Listen here, Cuckoo Cola. You shouldn't have said nothing. You shouldn't have. You knew damn well. And then you got your other co-host who tried to insert sympathy and empathy, or try to get you to like maybe do a pivot, pun intended, from this take by bringing up his son on the spectrum. Your son don't need to be on the spectrum for him to have common decency and order. Thank you for being transparent about your fight and just being a little bit honest. Like, hey man, the way I move now, this is how I move now. That man don't care. Girl, you wasted that on somebody who is like, I don't give a damn what y'all say. I'm sorry. Channing Crowder would be a coworker for me. And honestly, it seems like they have a good working relationship, and starting to seem like that's going to be all that they going to have. Not saying that Channing not funny, because there's times where he's funny, and there's times where I agree with his takes. And then there's other times where I'm like, can you just shut the hell up? That's kind of how I feel. That's how I feel. You know how I feel. I'm also bringing this up, like you keeping this cold ass take about Russell. You keep saying this bull ass shit about Russell. Meanwhile, back in May of this year, The Pivot had Bill Belichick on the show, and his girlfriend Jordan Hudson was also there. And the interview is awkward. It is. Because I think they asked the question and she said, we ain't talking about that. It was like, girl, what the hell just happened? I'm like, girl, where did this just come from? Now, could they have edited it out? Of course. Y'all have editors and producers, so y'all could have clearly edited that out. Y'all kept it in for a reason. Not sure why. Channing Crowder went on his radio show to, I guess, download or recap the interview. And on his show, he said his old lady is different. She lurks. It's weird to know him as Coach Belichick running the entire organization as GM, head coach, talent coordinator, all that stuff, and then see this tiny little 95-pound girl pretty much telling him what to do. He also added that Hudson choreographed the Open. Although it's unclear what that means exactly. Ryan, and this is from Awful Announcing, this is their article. Ryan Clark opened the interview by running down a list of Belichick's accomplishments, including New York Times bestseller, before asking him how he's been doing personally with everything that's going on, and an apparent reference to the controversy surrounding his relationship with Hudson, because there's a significant age difference, right? Clark then followed up with a direct question regarding Hudson, who was listed in the acknowledgments of his book as his idea, mill, and creative muse, before asking another follow-up about the role she plays in helping him balance his business and football ventures. She was there. She kind of coordinates and brand manages. She has her paws on the situation. It's different, ... It was weird to be around Belichick and Jordan. I don't see Belichick in that light, but he just smiles and nods. So he said that. And then on his show, The Pivot, he said this. As I was talking about it on the radio, you fall into the narratives, ... I got caught up in the narrative, caught up in the questioning. When someone sees that you have talked to a football god, now they want to ask the questions that they've had on their minds for years. And I would say that's what I got caught up in. I just want to tell Bill Jordan, I apologize for any negativity it brought to you. Coach, we talked on the phone. I told you I respect you as much as I do anything in this world. And what happened and the articles that came out was unrealistic. And that's the opposite of what I wanted to do for you and what I wanted to do for your relationship, Coach. So that's my bad. And I want to put it out there as a man, my bad, Coach. Now, I'm bringing this up for several reasons. First reason is, so let me get this right. The first reason is, it is glaringly obvious that Channing Crowder does not respect Russell Wilson. And he can say, I didn't say he was a bad person. I'm like, I don't think anybody said that you did. Calling someone lame is not calling them a bad person. Not calling him a bad father. Not calling him a bad husband. So you actually trying to equate that as gaslighting. It's ridiculous. Second thing is, let me get this right. You apologizing to that 95-pound girl and Bill Belichick, but you can't step off and stop talking about Russell Wilson. So you do know how to apologize, but I think you save it for people that you respect. And you don't respect Russell Wilson. And you could dance around this. I'm like, no, your actions indicate that you don't respect him. And the thing about it is, let's see if he apologizes to Russell. He probably is not. He's not going to apologize. He ain't apologized then. He ain't apologizing now. He's like, I said what I said. But you apologizing to these two white people? Brother. Again, on your best day, Future ain't hanging out with you on his worst day. And it's just very disappointing to watch you be glaringly predictable. And I'm glad Russell was kind of going y'all, because one, that's why it reads like you're jealous. And it's so weird because you have no reason to be. Not that I'm not jealous. I'm like, yeah, but the impact of how you're acting and moving shows that your intention, not so much. So last thing, and it's high key, is Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk has been a lightning rod in everybody's. I think he took over for Richard Spencer, who you don't see too much anymore. I'm not going to look for him, by the way. But I think Richard Spencer kind of slowed down when he got punched in the face on the street. He got cold cocked. I don't think he passed out, but I remember him getting punched in the face. Because we all, I don't know how many people need to keep saying this to y'all. Freedom of choice is not freedom of consequences. And sometimes a fist in the mouth is a consequence. Okay? So, for the last 13 years, Charlie Kirk has been spewing extremely hateful vitriol against many demographics, and almost all of them are non-white. He doesn't seem to like, most notably, black people. Thank you. Most notably, he has an issue with black people, trans folks, queer folks. He has an issue with DEI. He's been rallying against that very, very much. Yeah. on the obia and ism tree, he hits every branch. And he's been doing this for over a decade. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, he also was a huge 2A enthusiast. He's gone on record to say when it comes to shootings that that is justified if we want to keep our Second Amendment rights. When it came to empathy, he said that was a made up term. Sorry. I'm sorry, let me give you the full quote of what he actually said. Because I have no problem. Oh, stop it. Let's see. He said, I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that it does a lot of damage. The context of him saying that was on in 2022 during his show. It also included that he thought of empathy as very effective when it comes to politics and that he prefers sympathy over empathy. But, hey, hi. He did say it, but let's see. Let's see if I can find it. I can't hear anything. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see if I can put it in here. Oh, okay. Open volume mixer. What's the volume? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Let me see. Sorry. I am fixing this, you guys. Oh, that's why. Headphone. Here we go. No wonder I can't hear it. Oh, ridiculous. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Hold, please. Hold on. Oh, sorry.
New communication strategy for Democrats now that their polling advantage is collapsing in every single state. It's collapsing in Ohio. It's collapsing even in Arizona. It is now a race where Blake Masters is in striking distance. Kerry Lake is doing very, very well. The new communication strategy is not to do what Bill Clinton used to do, where he would say, I feel your pain. Instead, it is to say you're actually not in pain. So let's just, a little, very short clip. Bill Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but it is very effective when it comes to politics. Sympathy, I prefer more than empathy. That's a separate topic for a different time. Here's cut 65.
Okay. So, hopefully you guys were able to hear that. But if not, essentially, he was saying in the context that empathy is good for politics, but he said it's a made-up word that does a lot of damage. And he was referencing Bill Clinton. their favorite person. Like, you're going all the way back to Bill Clinton. Y'all miss a lot of people when you don't talk. No, you don't talk. It's so funny when you watch very right-wing conservative people. They only bring up something that Democrats say, but when we say bring up your boys, suddenly they get real quiet. People who know that. That is what he said about something and empathy. right? This is the same person who and unfortunately, yesterday, September 10th, and this is on social media somewhere. There's no, because X is owned by Elon, there's no community guidelines, so those videos might be around somewhere. I'm not looking for them, and I don't suggest you do either. But that man got shot in the neck at an event and passed away at 31. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children. I think 2. I know at least one. I know at least one, but I think maybe they have 2. And then you watch people who could not muster to extend humanity, sympathy, and empathy to those American citizens who are being treated poorly in this country. Trans folks, black folks, indigenous folks, Asian folks, Latinx, Hispanic folks, disabled folks, folks on the spectrum, folks who need government assistance. They can't muster any support for them. You saw them saying, oh, where people were just like, oh, what's for dinner? There were some people. And they're like, There were some people who literally did say rotten hell. And that is based on, and it's not just because he's just some random white man and they just saying it just to say it. No, there are people who literally have been harmed or find umbrage about the things that he has said and perpetuated, and the base and the hornet's nest that he shook, or stuff that he picked up the ball and ran with the others walked. He ran for a lot of stuff. And they said, oh, I don't care. Then all of a sudden you saw people who cannot show sympathy and empathy. One is sympathy and empathy for a person who flat out said, and this is after discussion of school shootings, says sometimes people got to get shot. If we want to keep our rights, some people got to get shot. There's some people who said, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I don't think that way. This is my thoughts. Not mourning someone is not synonymous with celebrating their death. For the most part, people are apathetic to this. They're not celebrating. I am in that place of apathy. My sympathy and empathy goes to 2 small children who are going to grow up without their parent. We think that he's a complete piece of shit. But as a daddy's girl, you couldn't tell me nothing about my father. But here's the thing. My daddy didn't have this issue. My daddy wasn't a piece of shit. So I don't have this, but I can still, all my sympathy and empathy goes to those children. Because that is just a hard thing. I was inconsolable in my 40s losing my father. These are little kids. That's a hard thing. And they're going to grow up, and if they do any details, any research on their dad, they're going to see a lot of this. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that they're going to do a full 180 and they're going to not be pieces of shit like their dad. Because this could make them very, very, they could grow up and still feel this way. Have the same values that it is their parent. But again, that's a hard thing to realize, that they're probably going to grow up and read all this stuff that their dad, if they do. Because that could also be pumped into them by their mother. Your daddy was a good person. He wasn't. See, that's the problem. And the other reason is because also this happened in front of his children. So that's the only people in this whole situation. Not even his wife, because she's an adult. I feel bad. Like, that is a lot to watch. That's horrific to watch. It's horrific the way that he passed. It's horrific what happened to him. However, comma, pause. I am still not mourning that man. Sometimes people got to get shot if we want to keep our Second Amendment rights. Ain't that what you said, sir? We are not going to ignore bad behavior because he has passed. Leaving this plane does not absolve you for your poor behavior while you were here. It don't. Now, mind you, and people are saying assassinated. Was he assassinated? It sounds like it. But please understand, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, they were assassinated. John F. Kennedy was assassinated. And they weren't pieces of shit. And they were still assassinated. Emmett Till, you can put him under assassinated too. Like, that boy was tortured. To this day, that boy was a child. To this day, the placard that is memorializes him gets shot up. To this day, a child. There are people who still hold on to those kind of values. They have to replace it periodically because racists shoot it up. Martin Luther King was on the FBI's watch list. A man who spoke about peace. He was assassinated. Y'all can miss us with this. Medgar Evers was shot on his porch by Byron D. Beckwith. Played by James Woods, who, if you watch his social media, I don't think he was acting in that movie. That's my hot take. Leaving this plane does not absolve you from your poor behavior. We are not mourning Charlie Kirk. I'm not celebrating his death either. I'm just not mourning his life. Cause not for nothing, I didn't want that man dead either. He could have got punched in the face like Richard Spencer. For me, that's enough. Yeah, punch in my face like I did Richard Spencer. He got clocked. I'm all for socking people in the face. I'm not about taking life. But me not wanting to take a life, me wanting gun reform, still is not going to make me sit here and act woefully obtuse about who Charlie Kirk was. Again, I'm going to repeat it, and I will not stop repeating this. Not mourning his life is not celebrating his death. Ever. But I want God to wrap himself around those two little girls, because this is going to be a hard road for them. Very hard. But y'all, this has been the Mocha Minutes podcast. I will be back next week to celebrate 8 years of the Mocha Minutes podcast. I don't want to cry on this thing. I think I'm going to save my tears and cries. My tears for next week. The people listening to this, people sharing this, thank you. Nope, Stephanie not going to cry. Thank you. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the listens. Thank you for the downloads. Thank you for the emails. Hey, Samaj. Thank you for keeping me up. Shout out to Rashani. Okay, I'll give you this one story. Early on, that first year of podcasting, it's a hard thing, baby girl. It's a lot. It is a lot of self-motivation, self-propelling. It reminded me of like freshman year of college. Because to going from like a strict someone telling you to do your homework and then it's like it's all on you, Woo, Chile, that first year is like, woo. For anybody who has not been to college, a lot of people know the college, probably know what I'm talking about. And Rashani, with no intention to do this, but that was the impact for me. He kept me going by just saying, I like your stuff. You need to keep going. And for him, he was just like, ain't no big thing. I'm like, Rashani was big to me. So I appreciate you. And along that way, I've met some amazing people. And I can't wait to talk about them out next week. So y'all, I will be back. I love y'all for real. Take care of yourself and each other. Shout out to the diva. See y'all.